Does it count as a finished object if I haven't weaved in my ends? Hello, my name is Emily Crow from Crochet Creations and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is episode 19 of the Crochet and Knitting Podcast. It's super exciting. We are almost to 20. That's such a big number. Hopefully many more to come. I also like to share, besides podcasts on my YouTube channel, I do have a couple tutorials, but I have lots of yarn vlogs, inspiration for different patterns, knitting and crochet chats, things like that. So all sorts of things related to the fiber arts world. So if that is something you are interested in, I would love if you could stick around here for more videos. I come out with videos most Fridays and occasional Tuesdays, depending on what content and how life goes. I have more to show you than I anticipated. Happy Mail Day. So exciting. I got lots in the mail yesterday. I did not expect to come this early, and so that's super exciting. And I have a few finished objects. I seriously thought I didn't have any, and I have some. So that's exciting. I got lots to share with you, and let's get right into it. It is also very hot today, so even though I think my hair looks kind of cute, I'm going to put it up in a ponytail to get it off my neck. Oof. It is in the high 80s. I'm in the Bay Area of California, is where my family lives, and we have no air conditioning. So it is a sweaty day today, but we'll get right into it. FOs. I have... I forgot one. Hold, please. Okay, I knew I had more looking at my pile over here. I knew something was missing. I finished my mom's stroll socks. Yay! So last time I talked about these, it was before my trip to Utah, and I think I was somewhere on the first leg, getting ready to start the heel fairly soon. Oh, I made a ton of progress. I'll talk more about my Utah trip. We took a road trip out there, so about a day to drive there, about a day to drive back, a couple days being there. And I got lots more time to knit on these socks than I anticipated, mostly because I didn't want to work on my Find Your Fade shawl. So I got lots of sock knitting done. I did make progress on my Find Your Fade, don't get me wrong, but I did not do as much on my big projects. I did a lot on my small projects. And so I was just planning on doing one sock and just moving on to the next sock for the video I plan to do, and then finish the pairs later on, hopefully by the end of summer sock camp. But I was on a little excursion with my husband. We went jeeping, and it was somewhere pretty gentle, and so I could knit for part of it. And it took us like over an hour to drive there and an hour to drive back. So I did not bring enough knitting with me on our jeeping excursion. So I finished this sock really early on, and so I didn't have anything else to do. So I decided to cast on the second sock, and I got through most of it between like the rest of our trip and like our drive back, and so I just had to finish it up, and I just powered through because I needed to clear my needles so I could start some other socks. So ta-da! I finished this pair. Like I said, it's for my mom. It is Knit Picks Stroll hand paints in the colorway Hummingbird. Super pretty. My mom is such a blue, teal, green kind of person, so I thought this would be perfect. It has some really cool micro striping pooling going on. It only gets a little different right in the gusset, understandably, as more stitches, right? But they're like almost identical in like the type of pooling it did there, and so they still go together super, super well. They almost are a perfect match. So I'm really happy with how these turned out. My mom wanted a long leg, and she has a longer foot than me, so these took longer than I wanted to spend on them. They didn't fly off my needles as fast as I had hoped, but it worked out great, and I used up almost the entire skein making a full pair of socks for her, so I'm really happy about that. So if you are new here, what I am doing is trialing and testing out all of Knit Picks stroll lines of socks. So they've got stroll, stroll tonal, stroll tweed, stroll hand paints, etc., etc. So I'm trying all the different types of stroll yarns, and I'm going to make a video comparing and contrasting them, talking about my experience knitting on them. It'll be kind of a vlog style, similar to my Michael's sock yarn review video, which I'll link up above. And so I just wanted to knit one sock for each just to make sure I could get that video out, and then I could finish the other halves of all the pairs in time for Christmas. So we'll see if I get them all done in time for summer sock camp, but definitely in time for Christmas. One whole pair of socks done for that, which is nice. I have a sock for my brother already done, and then I'll talk in my whips. I've got a sock for my other brother started. So we're making progress. Another finished object that I want to share with you are my granny square knit socks. They are a combination knit and crochet pattern that is currently in testing. So I finished my pair. They are with testers now. The name of the pattern will be called Granny Knocks Your Socks Off. My husband came up with that name, so that's what we're going with. Nice and catchy. It is a mostly knit sock. I'll put this one up front because it doesn't have as many ends to weave in. I haven't blocked them yet. It's a mostly knit sock, and it's got some crochet detailing, granny squares up here, granny stripes down here, and a single crochet modified spiral toe, but mostly vanilla knitting. There's, you know, simple mindless parts, but other parts that just are like a little bit different technique, so it's super fun to work on. I'm thinking about starting a pair for my daughter in a different color palette. Great way to use it minis. One problem is that you have lots of ends. I've still got lots of ends. I'm still calling them a finished object because all the knitting and crocheting is done. It's just the weaving and ends. I've been going very slowly since I got the pattern worked out. I got the photos I wanted to for the pattern. I got my testers going and things are going really smoothly. I can take a step back and I don't have to stress as much about these. My goal is to have them done in time to take some more pictures of me wearing both socks for the release. The release is scheduled for August 15th, which is International Granny Square Day, to help celebrate so that knitters can also celebrate if they are willing to try out some crochet techniques that are fairly common crochet techniques, but if you are not familiar with them, it might be good to, get a little practice. I would say this is an intermediate pattern for sure. Definitely not your first crochet pattern if you are only a knitter, but it uses really common techniques for someone who's done a couple crochet patterns before. Toe, super easy to do. Granny squares are going to be a little bit harder just because there's a lot of knowing where to put your stitches and your hook and just making sure that everything's sorted out okay. But I'm really happy with these. They're going to be available in all sizes, from baby through adult extra large. I worked really hard to get my gauge right so that each of these granny squares ends up being 1 inch. Yeah, and you'll notice there's gaps in between, and that helps with the stretching so it can get over your heel better. I've been very thoughtful about this pattern, and I'm so excited. I'm very proud of this. And I'm excited for it to be out into the world. So keep an eye out. Join my newsletter list if you want to be notified when this pattern drops and maybe get a discount code for it. I am so excited. I'm just really proud of myself for this design. It is exactly what I had hoped and dreamed of, and I just really busted my butt to get the math and everything to work out the way that I want to, so I'm very pleased with these, and it's inspired me to make other designs that are similar. Yay! That is done. Another design that I'm going to throw in the finished object section because it's basically just weaving in ends left. That counts, right? It's a finished object with ends to weave in, but this is I'm going to call it my turning leaves dish towel. You'll notice I've got 3 leaves here. I need to attach all the others, but the plan on this dish towel is to attach leaves all throughout. I've made lots of progress on my trip on this, so I use all the accent colors along both edges, the top and bottom of the dish towel, and then I'll use those same colors for all the different leaves. Let me show you the kinds I have. This one I didn't sew on super great, so it's a little bit lopsided, but it's a maple leaf type of pattern. And then this one is more oak leaf-esque. And then this is, I don't know, just your typical pointy one end, rounded. I don't know. They're not super specific. They're just inspired, but definitely different kinds of leaves. And so all the different beautiful colors of fall, all in one dish towel. And I'm using We Crochet Dishy. Ooh, can I remember the colors? This one is linen. This brown is called mushroom. This yellow is called... This orange is called Sunbaked, and this red is called Fiesta. I feel like I forgot the yellow last time too. The yellow... I don't know what the yellow is. I'm sorry. I'll make sure to pop it up so that you can know all the colors. So perfect fall palette. I am making this design for an upcoming blog hop that I'm going to be a part of in the month of September. I think it's going to be in September, if I remember correctly. Anyway, so it's coming up sometime soon. I've got a couple testers working on the leaf patterns, and so I'll be getting that pattern worked on. The, like, what was the name I was thinking of? Like, falling leaves? Dish towel, already taken. So I need to come up with a different name. So I'm going to do turning leaves. It's like the leaves are turning, changing colors. Time is moving on. I will probably show that next podcast with all the different leaves attached, just to show what the final product is going to look like. But I'm going to count it as an FO today because it's just weaving and sewing. Not that much. Not that much, right? As I said, I made progress on my Find Your Fate shawl. I did not really want to work on this during our road trip very much. I worked on it on our ride back, which was horrible, honestly. I'll talk about it later. Ugh. Our ride to Utah was much easier and smoother than our ride home from Utah. We had so much traffic. It was really rough. Added like hours to our trip. Not a fan of that. We survived. And I worked on this during that long drive, so I think I was just not in a good mood because of that. And also, I kept having to tink back the lace. And like, when you have like a couple hundred stitches and you have to tink back 2 rows, it's like really sad. But we made it through. I don't know what it is, but for some reason at this moment in time, lace is so fun to do, but like, if you mess up, it's like a disaster. And I keep messing up. Let me show you how far I've gotten since last podcast. I am proud to show you. Okay, so that's my stitch marker. Sorry, it's getting really huge. I'm about halfway through the pattern, and so it's really hard to show. I was on the first row of the entire lace section. I finished all the lace in that car ride. It was very stressful. And then I faded from my like berry purple into the brown, which is Fideri. It's a beautiful chocolate brown. So I just need to do a couple more rows of that like chocolate brown color, and then I'm gonna start changing the shaping of the shawl. So I'm about halfway, which is awesome. I'm so excited. Definitely a product knit, not a process knit. I'm not enjoying it. I don't think garter stitch shawls are for me. Our force gain shawl is really big, and I'm just like over it. She has so many other patterns that are tantalizing, but I just know from this, I need a break from this type of shawl. I need to make something that's a bit different than this if I have any hope of finishing it. But I'm so excited to wear it. I think it'll be so beautiful seeing this fade. So I faded into my brown. I'm going to start fading back through the colors from dark to light again. So the other end will also have this cream color. This is also Rella yarn from their fall tonals last fall in 2021. Let's see, there's ceramic, cashmere, studio, and Videri are the colors in order from light to dark. And yeah, I do enjoy working with this base. I don't think there's anything wrong with the pattern, but it's not my kind of mindless knit. My mindless knits need to have enough interest going on or changing of things, but I've been just getting really bored on this. So plugging away at it and making progress, I'm happy to share. Maybe I'll get it done by the end of the year. I really hope so. It's on my Make 9 list. Hopefully. I started another big project. This one also has some lace, and I've also had to tink back. I think just my brain is like not ready for actual lace. It's so pretty though, but I might need a break from it. And it's so hard to tell because it's so little. It's so little. This is going to be a dress for my daughter. This is the very top. It's so little. Is she this little? I'm making the 2-year-old size. She's so little. I have a lot more to do on the raglan before I'll be able to join. This is going to be a Moonglade dress. It's by Roro and Cades, and like I said, I'm making the 2-year-old size. It's mostly stockinette. The sleeve parts of the raglan have a lace detail, which has been really fun to work on. I'm just starting to get into the, like, it's all going to be pretty much lace. So it's going to be really interesting. The yarn I'm using is Ching Fiber, their Merino Singlets, which is single ply fingering weight yarn in the colorway Flaminglet. So I'm just alternating skeins. You can see I'm attached to both. I've got 2 skeins for this project. I'm alternating skeins. There is a lateral braid detail on the top of this, which I'd never done before, so I was really happy to learn that from Kelly's Pattern. I'm really excited about this. This has been like my TV knitting when we're watching my husband's show, because I don't have to pay attention as much to what's going on the TV, and I can pay attention to the lace. Making some good progress. I'm about 1/4 of the way through the raglan, and so this is all in rows, and then after the raglan it joins together, and then I work in the round, and I think that'll go really fast. I need to get a new cord going before that because this is way too big. That's a later me problem. I'm hoping to get this done before summer is like gone so that Georgia can wear it to church or something. It is like a nice dress. So not going to be a play dress. This is definitely going to be something she wears to nicer occasions like church and stuff, but hopefully I can get it done before the weather cools down too much and like we're all in the fall mood, because that's definitely very summery, very like peachy colors and vibes, which is her theme, is peach, my little Georgia peach. So I've got those 2 big projects to show you. Let's see, I've got all the sock whips. I talked about this one earlier, that for my other brother, I'm making his stroll sock. I'm using Stroll Tonal in Train Station, which is like a black-gray tonal. My other brother wanted black socks too, so they're just boring and neutral like that. I am most of the way through the heel flap, not all the way through. I should try to work on that today to kind of get through the heel. That would be nice. He wants a shorty sock, but he has an 80 stitch foot. His feet are huge. I double checked with him. Like, I can't remember what number he is, but he gave me his measurements and I thought they might be wrong because it's so big compared to the rest of my family. So I messaged him and asked him about it. He's like a size 12 or 14 or something shoe. So like, he has big feet. Men's US. And so I'm going to do 80 stitches and it's going to be a real long foot. So I'm really glad that he wants an ankle sock, because if it was a big sock, then it might not get done in time. But yeah, I am going to try to work through this. The last person in my family that needs socks is my dad, and I have some Stroll tweed yarn for him. He wants a long sock. So I've been kind of alternating between a short sock, a long sock, a short sock, a long sock. I got all the measurements and I did the math to figure out how long to make their socks and how many stitches to make it. So I've got a plan, which has helped a lot. And we'll just see, I guess, when I give them their socks for Christmas, how they fit, if there's anything they would want changed, and I'll just make a note for next time I make socks for them. So this is like a trial run to see. I've never made socks for my family except for my husband and my daughter, because I could just try the socks on them because they live with me. This will be a new thing, and I hope that they work out well. I'm also going to make some little booties for his cat so that he and his cat can match, because I think that's just really silly, and he made a joke about it, and so now I just ought to do it. Another pair of socks that I've started. I've realized that summer sock camp is coming to a close at the end of this month, and that really made me stop and think about how I'm going to finish all my socks for summer sock camp, because I finished some pairs, which is really nice, but I have lots of plans. I'll make sure to put my video up above and down below for my goals and plans for summer sock camp video, so you can hear about all the things I was hoping to make. I do have a month left, so I'm going to try really hard to get through as much as I can, but I realized I really got to get going. Something that was not on that original plan is the Desert Vista Dye Works socks. So I was inspired by Do So Knits, has been doing Desert Vista Dye Works monthly sock club make-along thing, and I just really wanted to join in and not wait until January. And so I just started. I got some yarn from a D-Stash, and I got some yarn from Desert Vista Dye Works, and I've started. I made a pair of socks for July, and now I'm on August, and I was just so excited to cast on that I cast it on August 1st. But this is my sock so far. I've mostly worked on it watching Pride and Prejudice, the 1995 BBC version. My heart. So good. So good. I need to watch the Keira Knightley version, because in the past I've said that, I like them both. I love Pride and Prejudice. I like them both. But the BBC version is so good. And now I just don't feel like Keira Knightley can live up to that. So I need to watch it again and see how they compare, just watching them back to back. Anyway, tangent. I've worked on this a lot the past couple nights as I've been binging the BBC Pride and Prejudice, and I'm almost done now with where I want the leg. I'm going to make these socks a little bit longer than my last pair of DVD socks, and I'm going to use this mini for the heels and the toes. This yarn is called Positano. I don't know what that means, so if you know what that means, let me know. And it's got this like rosy color with it. And so this is part of the Neutrals mini set. It's almost an exact match, and so I'm going to use it. I think it'll look pretty good together. That is the plan. And yeah, I'm in just a fish lips kiss heel mood. I'm getting used to that. I've been doing heel flap and gusset for my family's socks. I've been making my socks with a fish lips kiss heel. So I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do that or not. The thing is, like, if I do a gusset, it'll mess up the stripes a little bit. It'll make them smaller and it won't be as even. And I don't want to cut in if I don't have to. So a fish lips kiss heel is a nice way to get a short row heel without having to like do an afterthought. So I think I'll probably do that for this sock. Yeah, I'm all about these like pastel-y colors. I love it, I love it, I love it. I've got more DVD yarn to show in a little bit. Last whip. Oof. Lots of whips. The last whip I have, my husband's birthday is on August 31st. Last year I made him a pair of birthday socks, and this year I am planning on doing the same. I am going to make this Fox's Day Out socks by Stone Knits. It's got this cute little like fox and tree motif. My husband wants only ankle socks. He will not wear taller socks, and so I'm making an ankle sock version for him. What I'm gonna do, I need to check the pattern. It's got a short row heel, I think, but I'm going to do just a short cuff, move into the heel, and then do the fox and tree motif, start that on the very top of the foot. And so it'll have less of like the freckly all over color work, because I'm going to have, the big main motif also on the foot too. So I think it'll work out okay, but I definitely need to sit down and take a look at the pattern, make sure I know what row I'm going to start doing that, all that jazz. All that to say, I am about 3 rows on the cuff. So I have a ways to go. This is just the first sock. I'm not worried about finishing these on time, but it would be nice to just have them taken care of and not have to think about it like as the deadline approaches, especially because it seems like August is going to be a pretty busy month for us. So if I can get these well on their way, that would be really nice, especially because I'm kind of hacking the pattern to make them shorties. This is Woolbury Fiber Co. Faraway Lands. Came in a sock set with this beautiful gold color. I'm going to use this for the trees and maybe for heels. I don't know. And then I've got this is Sorelli yarn cardigan left over from, I've done a few pairs of socks with this. It's been a great cream to use in my socks, but I'm going to use this for the foxes in the pattern because my husband loves Arctic foxes, even more than regular foxes. He loves foxes. We were at church and we were going inside the building. This is this past Sunday, and outside we saw literally a pile of feathers. Like, there were so many. No other traces of the bird, but there was lots of feathers. So very recently had been killed. And I was like, I bet that bird's not okay anymore. My husband says, I don't think it is. I said, I wonder what got to it. If it was a coyote or what. Dallin, my husband, was like, maybe it was a cute fox. He likes foxes. So I thought this would be the perfect pair of socks for him. I'm trying to keep it secretive on the down low. He knows I'm making him some socks, and he might have seen this color palette, traveling around as I've planned on starting these socks, but he doesn't know yet that they will have foxes on them. So I'm so excited. He's not nosy, so he might not even notice if I work on them in front of him that I'm making socks for him. I also work on a lot of different projects, and he has a hard time keeping track of the yarn that I get, the yarn I think is cool, the patterns I find online, and I show him the projects I'm working. He has a hard time keeping track of it all, so even if I do show him, he might forget by his birthday that those are his socks. Just because he has a hard time keeping track of it. So I've got quite a few socks on my needles, all in the very beginning stages, so gotta get some work on those. I think that's all my whips for right now. Let's move into acquisitions, because there are way more than I anticipated. I feel like I've been very chatty. It feels like it's been forever since a podcast. I've got lots of yarn to choose from. I will start at one end and move on up. This intentional purchase, well, I guess they're all intentional, right? But I knew this purchase was coming. I bought some DVD yarn. These are the other two skeins that I have purchased. This one is called Abstract Cacti, and this one is called Gradient Gorns. So I'm thinking this will be my September socks, and these will be my October socks. And hopefully by the end of October, I will have my 30% off discount code for participating in this make-along, so that I can load up my cart and buy a handful of new yarns. So that's the plan. I have the mini set, the neutral mini set that the pink came from. All sorts of good minis. Yeah. I feel like the charcoal and the black look almost identical. It's not a bad thing, because I'll still use them, I'm sure. All the neutral shades. It's beautiful tan, cream, gray. So yeah. And then that pink was a really fun neutral, and of course I'm using it first because I'm all about pink right now. So I've got my socks for the make-along set up for the next few months. I still might do some shopping on People's D-Stash because it's a little bit cheaper. I like that it's less waste, and I know if I put something on D-Stash, I would want someone to actually buy it so I could kind of get it out of my home. I'm thinking about doing that actually, so I might make a video about the process of going through my old stash and putting things up online to sell. I'm good for right now. I have a plan to accomplish this make-along goal of making a pair of socks every month with DVD yarn. I got a ton of pre-order yarn in the mail yesterday. I got from Bella Filato Studio. Oh, I forgot to say, DVD gave me a little stitch marker. It is so cute. Their logo is like this cute little gecko. And I've got a little stitch marker that they gave me. It's a little gecko. So cute. That came in my package too. So I had to share because it was adorable. But then I got a package, pre-order that came in from Bella Filato Studio of a couple skeins of sock yarn that I was looking forward to. This was their Great Lakes collection 2.0. I think they're in Michigan. Yeah, I grew up in New York right near Lake Erie, and so I thought this was a beautiful collection to take part in. I got the colorway Lake Erie, all the beautiful mauve-y, pinky, peachy tones, so pretty, like a sunset. And then this one is Pierhead Lights. Oh, it's blowing out so bad. I'm so sorry. But it's this creamy base with pastel blues, little speckles of black, peachy hues. It's really pretty. And for some reason, this one is so soft. I don't know why. I mean, this one's soft too, but for some reason, this one just feels really soft. So those will be some fun socks coming up sometime. And this is the surprise one. I was not expecting this order until mid-September, but I guess all the colors were dyed in my order, and so they sent it. This is from Woolbury Fiber Co. from their Coastal collection. I got a sweater quantity. This is Sandcastle in the berry sock base, which is BFL nylon 80/20. This variegated, yeah, you can see that. It's got almost a mushroomy tint to it. It's a warm cream color. There's a little bit of a red brown to it. I thought this skein would be more red in person, more pink, but I still think it's a really beautiful tonal variegated, and I think it's gonna make a great sweater. Definitely still part of my color palette, even if it's not as like a vibrant pink as I anticipated. And then I got one skein of Beachcomber, which was the tonal that like pairs with this one. Again, I thought it would be more pink in person than it is. It's definitely leaning closer to brown than to pink, but I still think it's a nice tonal. My plan is to make, with these, the Bibliophile by Alicia Plummer. I got enough to make sure that depending on which mods I decide to do with the pattern, I'm not quite sure if I want to do a mock neck or turtleneck or whatnot. That is like the thought. I have enough that I can definitely make the mods I want, make sure it's long enough for what I want, and whatever I have left over of that last skein, I can make socks with this guy. So that is the idea. I am looking forward to this. I have been pulling random skeins and projects out of my cubes, and so now it looks full even though I know I can make more space. So I just need to like pull everything out and reorganize and like settle everything down in their spots, and maybe organize not so much by dyer, which is what I've been doing lately, but to organize the top row is the things that I know I will use soon, and then the bottom are the things that I don't have plans to use right away because it's like not the right season or I'm not feeling the colors or whatnot. So I need to rearrange really quick and do that. So these don't have a home yet, but I know I can make a home for them. I did not expect that till September, so it came really early, so I'm really happy about that. The last thing I want to share, I got this from Page Street Publishing, so I'm one of their ambassadors. They send me a book, and all I have to do is make something from it, share a little bit about it on social media, and I get a free crafting book. So it's been awesome. I've really enjoyed it. They've sent a crochet world of creepy creatures and cryptids, and oh, so cute. Look at those amigurumi featured. Oh, so cute. So cool. There are 40 amigurumi patterns in here. It's a massive book. There's so many designs. So I need to figure out what I want to make out of here. It'll be really fun to make for Georgia or just for myself. Super interesting. Lots of things to choose from. I'm really excited about that. I got a couple other books from Page Street Publishing that are not fiber related, but I'll just show them really quick. This one is called Botanical Escape, 40 Beautiful Tracing Projects to Help You Unwind. Have you ever tried tracing before? Basically, I mean, you can still color things in, but it's in really, really light gray, and so then you can trace over it as like a mindful activity and make something beautiful. That sounds like something I would really enjoy. Gotta get me a new fine liner because I think my fine liner has been, like, the nub has been squished down. So I need to definitely do that. But then you can go back and color them too. So fun. I think that'll be really fun as a different activity to work on. And then this one is Stunning Watercolor Seascapes. I've always wanted to do watercolor. This is beyond me, I think, with what I could do. But this could be really fun as like a fun exercise to go through. Like, isn't that beautiful? I'm not super good at art. I've definitely not fostered that because it definitely takes some skill, but I could. So that'll be really fun. I'm excited. These books are really fun. This one is very specific to what I do on my channel, so I'm excited to make a cute little amigurumi. I've not done amigurumi in a while, and I need to get back into it because it's cute. The seaming is not that bad. It's not that much, so I can do that. Alright, so my butt is getting sore, so we are gonna wrap this up. Sitting on the floor is not super comfortable, and Georgia should be waking up from a nap soon. So, life stuff, chit chat, just kind of what's going on. We went on a trip to Utah. We have family out there, but mostly the reason we went was because my husband's grandmother hosted a family reunion down near Zions, which is in southern Utah. So they got a ranch home that they rented out for the weekend, and we all, like, aunts, uncles, cousins, everybody went. And so there was like 40 or so people there. We drove down in the Jeep so that we could go Jeeping while we were there. It was so fun. Oh my goodness. It just felt too short. The drive was not bad at all. I had lots of activities that I found from like the dollar spot at Target, or like different little crafting things I could put together really quick, like DIY activities for Georgia. And so it worked out pretty well. We also had the iPad with YouTube videos downloaded. And Frozen. We had Frozen downloaded too. We made great time. We did great. We stayed the first night in a yurt, like an Airbnb outside. It had like a stand-up air conditioner fan type thing that cooled it down quite a bit. Not all the way. It was still pretty warm in the desert at night, like in southern Utah. But the air conditioner unit helped a ton, and so it was fairly comfortable. And it was really fun to sleep in this yurt. Glamping for sure. We really were in the mood to camp, but did not have the bandwidth to pack all our camping stuff and like set up camp late at night, sleep overnight, and then take it all down for the next day. So I'm really glad we could find something like that because it was a fun little mini adventure. And then we went to the ranch home for this reunion. We went jeeping. We went to Bryce Canyon, and we took some trails outside of Bryce to try to like get some really beautiful outlooks. And that was really fun. It was not hard to go jeeping. There was someone there that didn't even plan on going like off-roading, that just brought their nice shiny truck, and we all did fine. So it was just fun, mostly gentle. I'm still glad we didn't bring Georgia because there was still quite a bit of jostling in the car. She stayed with the grandparents, and they had so much fun. They went mini golfing at the little like ranch resort place, and they went on a drive through the canyon, and they watched movies, and they just had so much fun while we did like our excursion. And then we drove back, and it was long. We hit lots of traffic right outside of Vegas. There was like an hour and a half slowdown, and then there was like 2 other slowdowns that were not quite that bad, but our drive to Utah took us about 12 hours, and that includes stops. We stopped at a diner to eat brunch, and we stopped at like a children's museum for Georgia to play to try to wear her out for nap time. That includes all that. It took 12 hours. On the ride back home, it took us like 16 hours, and we did not stop. Like, the longest stop was we stopped at a Subway for dinner, and we ate our Subway, and then we left. Like, it was not long. It was like half an hour maybe, with like bathrooms and stuff that we had to do, because we had to change Georgia's diaper twice while we were there. Babies. So it was a very long trip back, and so we were very much over it, but we were glad we made it back safely, and it was a really good time to visit with family. That's kind of all we've done since my last podcast episode, and we've just kind of been recuperating and getting settled in back at home, getting back into the routine of things. We don't have any other solid plans for trips for the rest of summer, then we might do something near Labor Day, so we shall see. Yeah, that's kind of like all that's happened with us. I mentioned that I watched Pride and Prejudice again. It's been a while. Now I need to read the book again. So good. If you have seen Pride and Prejudice and you have opinions, let me know which version you like better. I think it's 2004 is the Keira Knightley version, and then the 1995 BBC version. Because there are some people with strong opinions, so feel free to make your opinion known down below. Other than that, I've read a couple things since the last podcast as well. I've been reading The House on the Cerulean Sea, which is by TJ Klune, and he is known for writing same-sex romance novels, or like drama novels with same-sex relationships like within them, and I wasn't sure how I would like this one, but it came with high reviews. I didn't want anything naughty, and so I just wasn't sure like how romantic it would get. Adult novels that have like relationships in them, sometimes I'm nervous to read them because I don't want to get into any like super naughty bits. Like, I can handle a little bit of smut, but not like a ton of smut. Like A Court of Thorns and Roses, I don't think I could read that from what I've heard about it. So I only read this book because it was recommended as something that wasn't super smutty, and I would totally agree. I really enjoyed it. I really wish that I could have more of the world building for how the magical world and the regular world kind of intersect. It was really interesting. It took me most of the book to figure out that the main character was a human. He wasn't like a magical human like in like Harry Potter or something. Like, he was just a human, but he worked for the government that oversaw magical beings. So kind of interesting. So I would love to know more about that world, I definitely would give it like a 4.5 stars. So I wish it gave me a little bit more, but I really enjoyed the story. I love the characters, and I saw the journey of like how people grew and changed and learned throughout the story. I really enjoyed it. I could definitely read more about that, but I'm pretty sure it's a standalone. So I definitely would recommend House on the Cerulean Sea, especially if you're not one to like naughty bits, because I think TJ Klune does have quite a few books that have naughty bits in them. If you care about stuff like that, then there you go. I recommend that. Oh, I read the first book in the Maisie Dobbs series. So she is a private investigator, psychologist type of person living in the post-World War I era in England. I think she might be in London. I don't remember, actually. I need to get back into reading the series. So I read the first book, and I loved it. Like 4.5 stars. I loved it. It was exactly what I needed. A cozy mystery, but also I feel like it's well written, and that I enjoyed the characters, I enjoyed the characterization, I enjoyed the flashbacks and the story. It was just really fascinating. I really enjoyed it. And it's one of 17 books, and so I have a long series that I get to read, so that makes me really happy. I just barely started the second book. Like, I'm only 5% in, so I can't say much about that, but I'm excited to be continuing that series. I just feel like a lot of cozy mysteries aren't well written, and that I can get annoyed at the writing style of the author and the way that they word things, and yeah, so I'm happy to find a cozy mystery series that I really enjoy, and it's a really interesting time period that I have not read a lot of historical fiction about, and so I'm really enjoying it. And they do flashbacks to World War I moments, or moments right before the war or whatnot, and like it's just how the war has shaped everybody is included like throughout the story. It's weaved in, and so I've really enjoyed that. Definitely recommend. Also, no naughty bits. Definitely no naughty bits yet. So that's kind of what I've been consuming as far as media goes, and kind of what's been going on with me. I think that this podcast has been plenty long, and I need to sit in front of the fan for a while, maybe eat a popsicle, and Georgia should be waking up from a nap pretty soon. So I just really enjoyed sitting with you guys and visiting, sharing the things that I'm working on and the things that I got in the mail. I do really enjoy connecting with you down in the comments below, so make sure to let me know what you're working on down below, if any of these projects are something you've worked on or that you are thinking about working on, and if you have any recommendations for me, things that you think I should watch or read, or things that you think I should be knitting or crocheting on, because I love hearing from you and getting to know new to me designers and things. All that to say, I love having a community here, and I love hearing from you down in the comments below, and so I'd love to chat with you down there. And I think I was gonna say something else, and now I can't remember. Big announcement though is that I'm part of the All About Fall blog hop hosted by Fossbass Designs and Caraway Crochet. And so my Life is Gourd dishcloth pattern is part of that, and it already had its free download day. So if you missed that, or if you have missed any of the other designs that are being showcased throughout the month of August, then you can go to the link down below and download the pattern bundle of all sorts of fall things. Great for market makes, great for gift making, great for stash busting. So if you're interested in that, the link is down below, as well as the link to the host blog, so you can continue going back there every day to get new coupon codes for the pattern downloads. And reminder that I have the Granny Knocks Her Socks Off pattern coming out really soon, so keep an eye out for that. And until next time, happy making. Bye.